Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we will be doing MCU Thor versus Heisei Godzilla. Please note we will be counting the highest form of scaling for both of them. So we'll be going all the way to Multiversal Plus, because this is where Heisei Godzilla stops at, and we'll be doing the same for Thor, and give him the utmost max of his verse, which is low multiversal. So without further ado, let's begin. And we'll be starting off here with Heisei Godzilla. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, used to be Godzillasaurus himself, got hit with a nuclear bomb, and became one of the most goated characters of all time. But let's get into that scaling straightforward. We are going right into Utsuno Ikozagami and Yamato no Orochi, which Godzilla defeated himself. But I actually like to talk about Mogira first, so give me a second here. So Mogira would easily scale to Mechagodzilla and would actually scale above Super Mechagodzilla due to the Heisei manga, showing that Mogira, with a single drill touch, was able to one-shot Super Mechagodzilla. This is important because Super Mechagodzilla is stated to be the strongest Mechagodzilla, stronger than Kiryu, stronger than, obviously, Mechagodzilla 2, stronger than, obviously, the first Mechagodzilla. You guys get the point, right? Now, the important thing about this is Super Mechagodzilla has two defenses. The Fire Mirror, which is supposed to reflect an opponent's attack, and the Diamond Armor, which is incredibly durable. Like, that thing is absolutely broken. This is also important because there's also the Plasma Grenade that also amplifies the firepower, and it's pretty much one of its strongest attacks as well. And what's important about this was able to two-shot a Fire Rodan, which was stronger than stronger than the first version of himself, which was able to give Heisei Godzilla a hard time. Godzilla would then get stronger by absorbing the energy of Fire Rodan, and he would be able to use the Red Spiral Ray to basically just absolutely maul it. However, the first time he used the Red Spiral Ray, it did nothing to Super Mechagodzilla. This means that Mogira should be much stronger than that Godzilla, and Godzilla later surpassed, which would make Mogira Universal Plus. The next character we have is Yamato no Orochi, who bends hyperspace, being capable of affecting fourth-dimensional entities and even killing them. You also have Utsuno Ikozagami, who also scales to him, but also Utsuno Ikozagami has an ability to where he can cut time in half. Again, this is very consistent in it. You also have Space Godzilla himself, whom Mogira scales to, and Godzilla scales above both Mogira and Space Godzilla together, who's able to bend fourth-dimensional objects. You also have the Leo Mothra trilogy, where, Death or Desi Ghidorah is capable of, absorbing the power of the universe. And this is important because his body's able to handle that much energy, and yet Leo Mothra was able to beat him. However, he struggled against King Ghidorah. Like Leo Mothra, it actually stated that Leo Mothra beating King Ghidorah was an absolute miracle, meaning that Leo Mothra actually had a very high chance of losing that. With the Life Force Essence also being stated to be Life Force Essence of Earth to be basically the Life Force Essence of the universe, this means that, again, Heisei Godzilla surpasses more Universal Plus entities, putting him at, again, a Multiversal Plus, probably double plus, level here. But let's go into the powers and abilities. After absorbing the energy of Fire Rodan, Heisei Godzilla actually gained this overpower regeneration. I mean, he already had it before, but this time it was much faster. He's able to regenerate from just being a heart, able to regenerate his brain being blown up, even regenerating, his gills being destroyed. Dude is just overpowered regeneration. Bro can regenerate from a cell within a black hole while being bombarded by supernovas. And yes, that is Space Godzilla. But at the same time, whose cell is that? Exactly. He also has the atomic breath. He also has the nuclear pulse. And when he really wants to kill you, he can also use the Red Spiral Ray. This move was so devastating that Destroyer can only handle just a couple shots of it. This was able to decimate characters like Super Mechagodzilla, able to destroy King Ghidorah. This guy was just absolutely bonkers with this power. So at the end of the day, Multiversal Plus, extremely powerful regeneration, extremely powerful atomic breath, defensive nuclear pulse, and has the Red Spiral Ray. So without further ado, we'll get into Thor. The Asgardian god of thunder, Thor, is actually one of the most consistent scaling points in the MCU. Now, for SARS, you do have the Handon Enforcer, which is actually able to shatter moons, and Thor easily scales above this. You also have the sheer fact that he's holding back against Iron Man in the first movie, with them saying they had to throw in anything they could for Iron Man to even have a chance against a holding back Thor, and this is actually pretty consistent here. However, let's get into why this is important. Thor in the first movie has 2 planetary feats, all right? Thor was able to shatter Jotunheim and was able to fight against the Destroyer armor, who was powered by his father's Odin Force. The Odin Force being a planet-busting force entirely, and Jotunheim being confirmed a planet. So that means Thor has 2 planetary feats. And y'all say DCEU Superman gonna beat MCU. Boy, he one-shots. Chill. But now we get into the actual good stuff. We actually do have some universal scaling here. For example, you have Doctor Strange, who is still below, I would say, Infinity War Thor, and he was able to use the Time Stone to affect Dormammu in his own dimension. Now, this is important because the Dark Dimension is a myriad of different universes that have been absorbed and consumed by Dormammu, okay? So basically piling up universes on top of universes. You could easily say that one Infinity Stone could possibly be Universal Plus, okay? Because again, Doctor Strange couldn't beat Dormammu with the Infinity Stone, but he still had him with an ability from it. You also have the Reality Stone, which is able to tear apart the fabric of reality within the MCU, and Thor was able to temporarily destroy it. You also have characters like Hela, who actually calls the Casket of Winters a planetary force, and even saying that the Space Stone itself is considered weak to her. Now again, this is important because the Infinity Stones scale to each other, with the Space Stone being light speed itself, and with it also throwing light speed attacks, you could also scale Thor to many times faster than light. However, you could also scale him above Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, considering he was able to overpower a blast from it, and absolutely just, he almost killed Thanos. You guys saw the movie. This will also put him consistently above characters like Bleeding Edge or Infinity War Armor Iron Man. You could even scale him above the Unimind, which I honestly think is pretty consistent because he should scale above the Eternals. They really don't have too many feats here. But the Unimind itself is a universal force here, being able to suppress a Celestial, which is actually pretty important because Celestials in the MCU were known for creating universes. Yes, they're no match for the Celestials in a straight-up fight. However, they had an ability that was able to mentally suppress and knock out Celestials. So again, that is pretty important. So at the end of the day here, Thor has demonstrated that he is easily a Universal Plus to low multiversal. So without further ado, we can actually begin the breakdown of this battle a bit earlier than I expected, honestly. But hey, I guess I'm getting better at my job, right? Now, with Thor, while I do believe Thor could definitely put up a fight, and maybe even counter the atomic breath with his lightning, I don't think he has a real good way to really put down Godzilla, even if he aims for the head. Now, the reason why I say this and the reason why this is important is simply because the AP, not the AP, but the durability of Godzilla is just simply too high. All right, I think that Thor is definitely faster. He's easily faster, much smaller, much more agile, and he does scale to characters that have faster than light reaction - combat speed, like Scarlet Witch, who's been able to react to Doctor Strange, and they both use the same amount of magic, which actually does consist of some light speed capabilities, even being able to match an alternate version of Captain Marvel, who would be light speed, right? So what you have here is honestly just, not only does Godzilla eclipse Thor in power with a much stronger verse, which each character actually having Universal Plus level feats and actually being able to bend fourth dimensional objects, But you also have the sheer fact that Godzilla himself is just too durable for Thor. He can't even put him down, even with a good lightning strike. Even if Thor uses his strongest lightning strikes, Godzilla has taken attacks from characters like Utsuno Ikuzagami, who can destroy planets with his sunbolt very easily, the same as Thor could with a strike from Mjolnir or with a lightning blast. There's also the fact that I think Godzilla would probably use the red spiral ray, or maybe he would or wouldn't. It really depends on how you think about it. But if Godzilla does use the atomic breath, it is going to hit and it is going to hurt Thor significantly. With Thor not having the same healing factor as Godzilla, considering the fact that he did lose his eye and it didn't grow back anytime soon here, I just think that Godzilla not only has the better durability feats, he has better power feats. And even if you want to say Thor is able to push him to his limits and that he's worthy of the Red Spiral Ray from Godzilla, remember the Red Spiral Ray increases in power every time it is also used. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But again, if he is worthy of it, that means Thor would probably be able to take one Red Spiral Ray. Alright, let's say he survived the first one. The second one is going to do him in pretty easily. So, stronger, more durable, better feats, much stronger characters. I would have to say that Heisei Godzilla takes this low to mid difficulty at best. But hey, that's going to be all. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.